All right, we're gonna play a game called Guess My Screen Time, and if you're within 30 minutes, you're gonna win $20. So what do you think your screen time was from yesterday?
5 hours.
Okay, let's take a look.
Uh-oh, it was like 8 hours.
8 hours? Oh, hey, good try, man. So what do you think your screen time was for yesterday?
Probably
Okay.
7. We'll go with 7.
Okay, we're going with 7 hours. Let's take a look.
Oh gosh, that's horrible.
10 hours, 11 minutes. So what do you think your screen time was yesterday?
30 minutes.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
30 minutes. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, 5 hours and 13 minutes.
Oh, dang.
And if you're within 30 minutes for yesterday, you win $20.
6 hours. Oh, my screen time's turned off.
Screen time's turned off.
4 hours and 25 minutes.
Yep, I'm wrong. I was 5 hours and 29 minutes though.
Do you think being on your phone less could help you in life?
Yes, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I gotta be on TikTok less, but other than that.
So, we all just watched this documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, and whoa. So if you haven't seen it before, it's nuts. The main idea of this documentary is they talk to and interview all of the leading tech experts and people who created a lot of the social media platforms that we use. It was like an employee from Instagram, I think, someone from Google and YouTube, this one woman who worked for Apple and Twitter, and like a bunch of other people. Oh yeah, it was even the guy who created the like button. Think about that. But anyway, all of the people in this documentary are the ones who left these social media companies for ethical reasons. In other words, they didn't feel comfortable with what was going on there. Once upon a time, they were all excited on how social media brought people together or helped people reunite, but then it became all about gathering your information so they could keep you on longer, which gives them more information about you, and then they can keep you on even longer, and then they can gather even more information and keep you on even longer, and the cycle continues. Okay. So we would never in a million years try to create a video that tries to tell you to delete your social media. We know social media is here to stay. I love it. Most of you love it. But what we want to do is help you to create some self-awareness about how you're using it. And more importantly, if you're using it way too much or for the wrong reasons. And here's why this matters. We think that each and every one of you watching has something to offer the world. And how we view ourselves and how we think others view us, what kind of decisions we make, and how we use our time can get in the way of that if we're not careful is all. So today, let's start off with a real honest question. How do I know if I'm using social media too much? Like, what's too much? Well, there have been a bunch of research studies about social media and people's addiction to it. Now, we know addiction is a pretty powerful word, but not surprisingly, people addicted to social media present the same symptoms as those people who are addicted to substances. Isn't that crazy? The people who did the research defined this new term, addictive social media use, as being overly concerned about social media, strongly motivated and having been devoting a great amount of time and energy to use social media to the degree that the individual's social activities, interpersonal relationships, studies, jobs, and/or mental health and well-being are impaired. Let me break that down to make it easier to understand. If you're overly concerned about social media, if it means too much to you, if you spend too much time on it, and if any of those factors get in the way of what's important in life, like your school, friends, or work, then that means you're overly concerned. And you might fall into this category of people who would deem your social media use as addictive. Side note, we're not here to diagnose or label you, and you shouldn't let anyone diagnose you unless you know for a 100% fact that they're a doctor. But I know regulating phone use is hard. Social media apps are addictive by design. I mean, where else can you get attention like that? One good 5-second video can get you a like from someone on the other side of the globe at 3:15 in the morning, or by millions of people everywhere. But think about it. Isn't it smart to make an app like that if you're the social media company? So again, back to the big question. Is it getting in the way of what matters? Well, we can't answer that. But we do want you to think about it a little more. So here's what we want you to do. Now listen closely because we don't want you landing yourself in any trouble. Later in the video, so not right now, we're going to ask you to take your phones out for like 30 seconds. We know in a lot of schools there's a zero tolerance policy on phones and we don't want you losing your phone. Inevitably, someone's still gonna get their phone taken watching this and you guys probably know exactly who it is. Anyway, when we tell you to, after the video's over, we want you to start by checking your screen time. I'm sure you know how to do that on iOS or Android, and if you don't, ask a neighbor if they can help, it's no big deal. Then, using that information, we want you to think through a couple of questions and talk through them as a class. To the teacher or adult in the room, if you need to lay out more ground rules, make sure you do that. We don't want to make this a mess for you. Anyway, and we said this before, we just want you to reach your full potential. And sometimes we can get in our own way. All right, guys, we'll let you get to it.